Today, we dive into the incredible story of a man who left an indelible mark on the world of science, and indeed, the world at large. This man, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than J. Robert Oppenheimer. Known as the father of the atomic bomb, his story is fraught with triumph, turmoil, and a whole lot of theoretical physics. Don't worry, though, we'll make sure it's easy to follow. Born on April 22, 1904, in New York City, Julius Robert Oppenheimer was the son of Julius Oppenheimer, a wealthy textile importer, and Ella Friedman, a painter. Robert, as he was commonly known, was an incredibly bright child, displaying an early fascination with rocks, birds, and most of all, the unseen world of atoms. As a young boy, he was curious, energetic, and incredibly intelligent. His appetite for learning was unquenchable. He filled his days with reading, with his favorite spot being the New York Public Library. He was fascinated by the wide array of subjects available to him: literature, science, history. He loved it all. You know, some say that by the time he was 10, Robert had already exhausted the resources of his local library. Imagine that. By this time, he had started to show a particular interest in chemistry, setting up a laboratory in his room, much to his parents' bemusement and probably a little concern. It was also during his childhood that he first encountered the Hindu scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita. This book would later have a profound influence on his life and worldview, but we'll save that for another chapter. Oppenheimer graduated from the Ethical Culture School in 1921. His parents, recognizing their son's brilliance, encouraged him to apply to Harvard. And although he was late to enroll due to a bout of dysentery, Oppenheimer wasted no time once he arrived, completing his bachelor's degree in just 3 years. But it wasn't just his academic prowess that stood out. As he studied, Oppenheimer was captivated by more than just science. He delved into a wide range of subjects, from Eastern philosophy to French literature, revealing the breadth of his intellectual interests. As he emerged from his undergraduate years, the lure of atomic science became too compelling to resist. The relatively new field of quantum mechanics had begun to disrupt the world of physics, and Oppenheimer wanted to be at the forefront. Upon graduating, he set his sights across the Atlantic. Europe was the heart of the quantum revolution, and that's where he headed next. He initially spent a year at the University of Cambridge, working under J.J. Thomson. He then moved to the University of Göttingen in Germany, where he received his Ph.D. in physics in 1927, under the guidance of Max Born. In these European classrooms and laboratories, Oppenheimer dove headfirst into the mysterious and exciting world of quantum mechanics. His days were filled with equations, particles, and intense debates with his mentors and peers. His nights, meanwhile, were spent grappling with the philosophical implications of the scientific revolution that was unfolding before his very eyes. Oppenheimer returned to the United States in 1929, a time when the world was beginning to feel the ripple effects of the Great Depression. But this was also an exciting time in American science. Oppenheimer found himself at the vanguard of a new era of theoretical physics. Taking up a dual appointment at both the University of California, Berkeley, and the California Institute of Technology, Oppenheimer began to make a name for himself. He was eager to spread the word of quantum mechanics, a revolutionary theory that was still little understood in the States. At Berkeley, Oppenheimer quickly gained a reputation. He was admired for his intellect and feared for his sharp wit. His classes were a blend of brilliance, intensity, and fear. He demanded the best from his students, pushing them into the deep end of the quantum world. During these years, he surrounded himself with a group of bright young physicists. Together, they delved into the mysteries of the atom, breaking new ground in the process. Despite the pressures of the Great Depression, it was a time of exciting scientific progress. But even as his professional life was thriving, Oppenheimer's personal life was often fraught with tension. He was known to be a man of many contrasts: charming and abrasive, gregarious and aloof, passionate and sometimes depressively introspective. These aspects of his personality would later contribute to both his success and his downfall. However, amidst all this, Oppenheimer found comfort in the tranquility of New Mexico, where he bought a ranch in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Here, he would retreat to find peace and solitude, away from the rigors of academia. The 1940s began under the dark cloud of war. World War II was raging, and the United States was soon to join the fray. As the world was thrown into chaos, science was about to play a crucial and somewhat terrifying role. In 1942, Oppenheimer was thrust into the heart of a secret project that aimed to harness the power of the atom for military purposes. The Manhattan Project, as it was called, would forever change the world, and with it, Oppenheimer's life. Handpicked to lead the project, Oppenheimer was an unlikely choice. His political leanings, previous associations with known communists, and lack of experience with large-scale projects were cause for concern. Yet, General Leslie Groves, the military head of the project, saw something in him, a brilliance and dedication that made him perfect for the job. The project found its home in a remote location in New Mexico, close to Oppenheimer's beloved ranch. The Los Alamos Laboratory was built from scratch, a hub of scientific research hidden away from prying eyes. At Los Alamos, Oppenheimer was instrumental in gathering a remarkable group of scientists, a veritable dream team of physicists, including luminaries like Niels Bohr, Richard Feynman, and Edward Teller. This group was tasked with the unthinkable: to build an atomic bomb before the Axis powers could. Working against the clock, they grappled with the immense technical challenges of their task. The work was arduous, the pressure intense, and the moral implications were ever present in their minds. Despite all this, under Oppenheimer's leadership, they pushed ahead. July 16, 1945. This is a date that will forever be etched in the annals of human history. It was on this day that the Manhattan Project reached its terrifying conclusion. The first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, was successfully detonated in the New Mexico desert. Witnessing the awesome and fearsome power of the bomb, Oppenheimer famously quoted a line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, saying, "Now, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." These words, a stark juxtaposition of ancient wisdom and modern horror, captured the gravity of what they had achieved. In the following month, 2 more bombs, Little Boy and Fat Man, were dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, effectively ending World War II. The sheer devastation they caused marked the dawn of a new era, the atomic age. After the war, Oppenheimer's life took a dramatic turn. He became a central figure in the debate over the control of nuclear power. His stance advocating for international control and against the development of the hydrogen bomb put him at odds with many in the government. In 1954, Oppenheimer's past came back to haunt him. His previous political affiliations and opposition to the hydrogen bomb led to a security hearing that stripped him of his security clearance, effectively ending his political influence. Yet, even in the twilight of his career, Oppenheimer continued to contribute to science and public policy, serving as the director of the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. His story, filled with triumph, tragedy, and controversy, leaves us with much to ponder about the intersection of science, ethics, and society. And so, we come to the end of our journey into the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer. A brilliant physicist, a complex personality, a man forever tied to the legacy of the atomic bomb. His story serves as a reminder of the power of curiosity, the potential of science, and the profound responsibility that comes with knowledge. Thank you for joining us on this adventure, dear listeners. As we part, let's keep in mind one thing. In every tale of science and discovery, there's a human story, filled with dreams, struggles, and the ceaseless pursuit of understanding. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, the world is full of wonders for those who dare to seek them.